The story of the Trojan War, the Bronze Age conflict between the kingdoms of Troy and Mycenaean Greece, straddles the history and mythology of ancient Greece and inspired the greatest writers of antiquity, from Homer, Herodotus, and Sophocles to Virgil. Since the 19th century rediscovery of the site of Troy in what is now western Turkey, archaeologists have uncovered increasing evidence of a kingdom that peaked and may have been destroyed around 1180 BC, perhaps forming the basis for the tales recounted by Homer some 400 years later in the Iliad and the Odyssey. According to classical sources, the war began after the abduction of Queen Helen of Sparta by the Trojan prince Paris. Helen's jilted husband Menelaus convinced his brother Agamemnon, king of Mycenae, to lead an expedition to retrieve her. Agamemnon was joined by the Greek heroes Achilles, Odysseus, Nestor, and Ajax, and accompanied by the fleet of more than 1,000 ships from throughout the Hellenic world. They crossed the Aegean Sea to Asia Minor to lay siege to Troy and demand Helen's return by Priam, the Trojan king. The siege, punctuated by battles and skirmishes including the storied deaths of the Trojan prince Hector and the nearly invincible Achilles, lasted more than 10 years, until the morning the Greek armies retreated from their camp, leaving a large wooden horse outside the gates of Troy. After much debate, the Trojans pulled the mysterious gift into the city. When night fell, the horse opened up, and a group of Greek warriors, led by Odysseus, climbed out and sacked the Troy from within. After the Trojan defeat, the Greek heroes slowly made their way home. Odysseus took 10 years to make the arduous and often interrupted journey home to Ithaca, recounted in the Odyssey. Helen, whose 2 successive Trojan husbands were killed during the war, returned to Sparta to reign with Menelaus. After his death, some sources say she was exiled to the island of Rhodes, where a vengeful war widow had her hanged. Many portions of the Trojan War epics are difficult to read historically. Several of the main characters are direct offspring of the Greek gods. Helen, for example, was fathered by Zeus, who distinguished himself as a swan and raped her mother Leda. And much of the action is guided or interfered with by the various competing gods. For example, Paris supposedly won Helen's love after awarding the goddess Aphrodite the golden apple for her beauty. The Judgment of Paris tells the story of how Paris was asked to select the most beautiful goddess between Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite by granting the winner a golden apple. Lengthy sieges were recorded in the era, but the strongest cities could only hold out for a few months, not 10 full years. Major excavations at the site of Troy in 1870, under the direction of German archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann, revealed a small citadel, mound, and layers of debris 25 meters deep. Later studies have documented more than 46 building pieces grouped into 9 bands representing the site's inhabitation from 3000 BC until its final abandonment in AD 1350. Recent excavations have shown an inhabited area 10 times the size of the citadel, making Troy a significant Bronze Age city. Layer 7a of the excavations, dated to about 1180 BC, reveals charred debris and scattered skeletons, evidence of a wartime destruction of the city that may have inspired portions of the story of the Trojan War. In Homer's day, 400 years later, its ruins would have still been visible.